So
hey, well, at least we caught it.
oh, we caught it. Alright guys, let me get the camera, there we go, set up here, try and keep it on camera here. So we have the old Power Acoustik. Now I think they changed these amplifiers throughout time. I just bought an old one that I saw online so I can prove this fact, because I bought, I think, 2 or 3 of these actually from Walmart. I bought, actually, well, no. I bought one of them on eBay. It was open box used. I tested it on the 1 ohm load that we've always been able to run these things at, and the amp started tripping out and shutting off on me. So I put it on a 2 ohm load and over, and it seems to be okay. So as long as you run this amp on, let's say the Power Acoustik, the Gothic 12, you're fine. I don't even know if you could run it on 2 of them. I think it would absolutely trip it, and the amp would go into protection. I mean, it's going to turn back on when you restart your power supply or restart your car, but during the meantime, as soon as it hits that certain level, it's going to trip the amp into protection. So I think over time that they changed these amplifiers, then they're not the same as they were. So this box right here is, I think the old original one was like a, it was like a black, white, and red box. That was the original box, and if you can find one of those in an amp, or one of these amps in one of those boxes, that's the one you want to look for. So the one I just bought off of eBay, it already has 240 amp fuses. It looks older than dirt, and that's the amp that we're going to test. And I mean, I think I already have this one on tested, and it drove me up a wall testing this thing, because it's not the old original amplifier, the made in Korea. It says made in Korea on the bottom. It has the same stickers, it has the same look as the old original amplifier, but I can guarantee you these amplifiers are not as the same as the original amplifiers. Alright, so without further ado, we're going to unbox this guy here and get into him. Now this is the newer version, and let's see here. I think it says it on the back. On the side, no. On the side, maybe? No. It says it somewhere here. Maybe on the back. Okay, there we go. So 450 watts at 4 ohms, 650 watts at 2 ohms, 900 watts at 1 ohm. Now, the original amplifiers I tested, and I have videos of those, and that actually tested, and I tried buying, that's why I actually tried buying these, because I was hoping to get the same results and duplicate the same results, because I ran those down to, I had my subs wired to a 1/4 ohm. They were running at like 0.7, 0.8, straight up on the dyno, 1/4 ohm wired, 0.7, 0.8, and they were doing like 1300 watts, the amplifier. Alright, so let's get into this guy here. We were already getting into it. So this saying 900 watts at 1 ohm, I think I'm going to probably agree with it and say that that's a good number. So right off the bat here, we have the high-low wire. And I believe this has a, yeah, bass remote. There's the bass remote and the wire for it. Alright, I'm going to pull the other one out just so we can do a size comparison. So I mean, looks wise, it looks exactly the same. Let's see here. It even says, I think, the same thing. Use production only mobile 12 volt and negative 12 volt ground, made in Korea, and it has their serial numbers on there. RZR1-2500D, made in Korea. So I mean, looking at it, this way, it really looks identical. I mean, it looks no different. I'm curious because a lot of, especially I think the older one, the screws here were kind of pushed in a little bit, which is why a lot of people took these covers off, which you can see the cover extends over this. So they would take this cover off so they could actually screw the screws in, because you would have to go in almost sideways to get your screwdriver to go into there. And these look like they pushed it out a little bit further, this the terminals here, so you can actually get to them without turning your screwdriver to the side. I was using smaller screwdrivers. Now we also have 50 amp fuses in here. The original one had 25 amp fuses, and people were putting 30, 35, and 40 amp fuses in those, and they were running fine off the 40 amp fuses, doing, like I said, 1200, 1600 watts off the amp. Looking here again, everything looks pretty much identical. So let's take out the other amp and just look at it. I'm going to add that, when I get the other amp from eBay, I'm going to add that video to this video so we can see the complete. Alright, so let's put these guys side by side. Alright, so I can tell the difference just from the fuses. Yeah, for the fuses right here, you can tell these are 25s, these are 50s, so the fuses are literally twice the size. Now I'm curious to know if I put a 50 amp fuse in the old amps, if it would stay running or whatnot. And I'm going to actually try it. The one that I have coming has 40 amp fuses in it, but I'm going to put 50s in it and see if it'll allow it or make any difference in the amplifier. So I mean, looking at it, they both look identical. Size, everything. The power acoustic to the RZR. I mean, everything looks really identical here. Let's look at the side here. Look at that. That looks identical. Nothing any different. And let's look at it this way now. Alright, let's go and look at this. Now I think on this amp here, this is the one that the Walmart was selling before the new style, and I think they replaced these terminals with new terminals that are out further, because this one actually has easier to access terminals. I mean, I'll get a screwdriver and just look, because I know on the old one I couldn't get to the terminal easily. And another similar amplifier to that is the PPI amp that they made, kind of like this. I actually still have my PPI amp like this. It way underrated amplifier. Terminals look to be about the same size. I mean, everything looks pretty much exactly alike. Alright, so we're going to get this guy put away here. We're going to test out the new amp. I'm going to get it up on the block. And I think I'm just going to go straight for the 1 ohm test. And we'll be right back, guys, so don't go anywhere. Alright, ladies and gentlemen. So we're back with the, as promised, I just got this in today. So if you see here, we did this video here. This is the previous 2 ohm stable version. There was one that was the same amplifier again, that was in a black and red and white box, and this is the current version that they made 1 ohm stable. And it, I mean, you guys can check out the dyno video on it. Now this one right here, I looked online specifically, I was looking on eBay specifically for this amplifier, and I'm pretty sure this is the original one that everybody ran put 30 and because it came with 25 amp fuses, and people were putting 30 amp, 35 amp, and 40 amp fuses in the amp to run more power on it. So I'm pretty sure this is that amp, and this is the one that I thought I was getting when I bought this one, which I'm guessing it's really not. They did something to the amp during the meantime, and oh, this has an odd smell, horrible smell. Oh my god. I don't know if it's the amp or it's the... So there's no end caps. They took the end caps off. It looks a little beat up. They obviously didn't clean it or anything. I'm gonna have to clean it up a little bit. So it has all the screws. Another thing about this one here, the reason why people took these the ends off, was because getting to these screws was almost difficult with a screwdriver. You either had to have a skinny screwdriver or kind of cock it to the side a little bit to get the screws down, and it was really difficult getting them in tight. So one of the things I noticed immediately right off the bat with this amplifier is there's 40 amp fuses already in it, which means that somebody was already running this at probably a high power. The gains set, I'm just going to leave it right where it is. The gains set pretty high. Subsonic is looks pretty low. Bass boost looks like it's all the way up, or it's either about like 10 o'clock. And low pass, they have, it looks pretty high. I mean, I wouldn't put my low pass that high as they have this here. It looks like it's about it says 35 to 250, so it's right in the middle, which that's probably like, I don't know, 150 hertz, which is kind of no longer bass. So no more sticker on the bottom. That's gone. That's why when I looked on eBay, there was no pictures of anything there. Alright, so I'm going to get this cleaned up. I'm going to get it set up on the amp dyno, and we're going to throw some power at it. We're going to give it a half ohm and a 1 ohm test. Alright, so we'll be right back, guys. Alright, guys, so I just wanted to get this on camera real quick. So, well, I'll just start here. Originally, this was the original right here, RZR1-2500. This is the one that everybody bragged about that could run at 1 ohm. I just did a test on it and confirmed that we could run that at 1 ohm. It's actually wired to a half ohm. And I think I even did a video before a while back, wired to a 1/4 ohm, and it was I think I had 35 amp fuses in it, 2 35 amp fuses, and it was doing, I think, like 12 or 1300 watts, something like that. It was clipping at that power, but it was still doing it. Alright, so moving forward, Walmart released this. They were selling this. So I actually bought one of these, and I went to test it thinking I had the same amplifier, and anything under 2 ohms on the dyno was just shutting off on the amp. Like, it would just shut off. No fuses blew, it would just shut off. So I went and bought another one, brand new. I think I got a refund on eBay for the one that I bought. But I went and bought another one brand new from Walmart, and sure enough, it was the same thing. It did the same thing that the other one did, so there was nothing even wrong with that original one I bought. Anything under 2 ohms was shutting off. So, excuse me. Alright, so then moving forward, these didn't last long selling at Walmart, and I'm pretty sure that that's why. They knew that they had sold something bunky, and they replaced it. So now this is what they sell currently. I think they went back to their original formula. They made the original amplifier, maybe tweaked something, I don't know. And they added 50 amp fuses to the amplifier. So I don't even know if you might even be able to run 50 amp fuses in that original one. I currently have 40 amp fuses in it. And this one right here has 25 amp fuses in it. I think during the video, when I do this, I'm going to swap out. I think I have 35 amp fuses here somewhere that I can easily swap out and just put them in there. And we'll see if it changes there anything or makes any difference. And it seems like I'm getting 400 or 500 watts, and anything more than that, it just shuts off. Alright, so we're going to get on with the video. I'm going to get this amplifier set up, and we'll be right back. Alrighty guys, welcome back. Let me get this up a little bit here. There we go. Oh, there we go. Alright, so I'm swapping over from, this is the newest power acoustic amplifier. It's telltale by it has 250 amp fuses inside of there. I'm not sure, but I think that might be the biggest blade fuses that they sell are 50 amp. I'm not sure though, so don't quote me on that. I know for maxi fuses, I was trying to look for larger than 100 amp, and they don't make larger than 100 amp fuses for maxi fuses. Alright, this thing's gonna give me a hard time here. Getting this. There we go. Just spin it off gently. There we go. So if you guys have a problem getting the RCA cable off, don't pull on it, because sometimes the cable will come right off or it'll rip off, because these things are very small wires inside. It's really, there's almost nothing in there. It's not like a speaker wire or anything. So we're going to go back onto this amplifier. I'm going to actually match the settings from this amp to that amp. I'm going to use the same exact settings because it was working out perfectly. And we're going to go swap here from one amp to the other. Swap one wire at a time. Everything's unplugged, so there's no power here. So we should be able to go nice and easy. I'm going to use my... maybe I'll use this screwdriver. This one seems like it's still... Oh, maybe I'll use this one. Well, I got a couple of them here. I'm going to use this one, I think. This one has like a longer head to it. Alright. Is that my son, Ashton?
Don't play with those. You're gonna ruin them.
Yeah, put those up, buddy. Those are for the Easter Bunny. Those are for the Easter Bunny. That's the Easter Bunny service. Go ahead. Where's my cat? Alright. So just try to get these prepared ahead of time. So I'm using 8 gauge wire here. I think the wires are the same. I'm just going to check and make sure. So we have positive, remote, and negative, I believe. So I should just be able to swap the wires perfectly. So let me see if I have my light here. Alright, so we have 12 volt, remote, and ground. Yeah, so all the wires follow the same pattern as the other one. So they're basically, these amps are really like identical in just about every single way. The only difference being, I don't know if I'm gonna have to open them up because that's the only way to really see if one is different from the other one, because this original one is definitely not what I got in the yellow box. And they didn't have them for a long time at Walmart either. That was a short-lived version of the amplifier at Walmart, and they quickly came out with this new 1 ohm version. And I mean, it was like 6 months they had those amps, and they were replaced by these new ones. Alright, so I kind of doubled up my wire here. I use these clips for the SMD to clip onto the wire. I spread the wire a little bit down it so they weren't, because you don't want your speaker wire touching. So I spread the speaker wire not next to each other, but a little bit away from each other. So even if the wires came close, the terminals on these wouldn't touch, so they're a little bit offset. Alright, that's all good. There we go. And we're gonna get out the remote first. There's that. And there's that. Now this one was already replaced with 40 amp fuses. I believe they come with 25 amp fuses. The old ones I'm talking about now. Go. Ashton, come here.
What?
Come here. I need a hand for a minute. Just put your fingers right here. I'm gonna push on this. Know what I mean?
Hold what?
You're just putting your fingers here.
Right here.
So when I push this wire, I don't push the amplifier.
Okay.
Oh, that's fine. Alright, let's see. That's good. Alright,
What
okay.
you mean pull? Oh. You're being pulled.
I said I was pushing.
Oh.
I was pushing the wire in, trying to get it to go in as tight as I could. Alright, so the power wire's in. There we go. We're going to get the remote wire in.
What?
Alright, remote wire's in. And let's get the... Now this should run flawlessly. I don't remember it dropping at all under... It didn't go at all under 1 ohm. It was like, it was over 1 ohm the whole time. So we should be perfectly fine. I'm going to move this over a little teeny bit. Alright, here we go. So that's in. There we go.
Oh no, it fell.
Alright.
It fell again.
Looks like it's good. I'm gonna... Ashton, you wanna come and do that again?
Not really.
I'm gonna do it to this wire. I just want to make sure it's secured in the thing tight. Ready? Because when I did it, I could kind of see the wires sticking out a little bit, and I cut it like perfectly. Alright, okay. Thank you. Alright, there we go. So we are all wired in. We are ready to go. Alright, so now I'm just going to set up my my gains where these are. Alright. Okay, so this one. So I don't know if they had it all the way down or what, but. Looks about right. Subsonic. Subsonic. Which is 10 to 150. Okay. So this one is about 10 o'clock-ish.
I did it, no.
Alright, bass boost. Looks like they have this all the way up. Yeah, they had it all the way up, so we're going to turn it way down. Okay, so there we go. And the last one is the low pass, which is 35 hertz.
Well, I got a block.
Fucking shit, gone. Grab a line. Out and dead in air.
That looks about good. Alright guys, so we'll be right back. Gonna get some numbers here. I'm gonna do a short also. Alright. Don't go anywhere. Be right back. Alright guys, welcome back. Alright, we're recording. I haven't even tested this yet, so I don't even know if this is gonna turn on. Alright, so let's go here. I think we're all set. Alright, looks like we got some power. Amplifier has power. So this is the new Power Acoustik RZR1-2500D. This is a D2 sub. It's wired to 1 ohm. So we're going to see what we can get on the dyno. Hopefully we're going to be running at 1 ohm. That's what I had tested before on it. So let's see what we get for numbers here. I'm going to try to move this up a little bit more too. Let's see if I can get this up a little bit more here. Let's see. There we go. Alright, so we're on live power. I'm hoping I can run like this. I'm using a wire I don't want to use for my RCA because I took everything apart, and I'm using a different RCA. Yeah, that was up all the way, so we don't want to do that. Alright, so here's 35 hertz. Let's try that just to start off with. See what that sounds like. We're going to start off low and see where we go, as always. Alright. And I'm looking to get, so if we're running at 1 ohm, I'm looking for 900 watts here. There we go. So that's 2 ohms right there. I'm going to give it a little bit more amp. CD skipping. Looks like we're getting about 200 watts at 2 ohms ish. There we go. Let's see what we got now. Let's go up another one because I think we can take another one here. Got about 2 ohms ish. And about 500 watts at 2 ohms. Reading. Alright, so it looks like we're going to be right back. I got to replace my batteries. Alright, let's try that one again. So we are back. So let's just reset that up real quick. Alright, well, I'm just going to try a different song because I know which songs are more powerful than other songs. And that's what we're trying to do here, is get some power, get a good idea of where we sit at here. Right, so let's get some power testing going here. So it looks like we're running this guy at around 2 ohms. So we're looking for 650-ish at 2 ohms here. Alright, so let's see what we got. Should be plenty fine for the sub. I don't think we're clipping at all either. So I think we're doing good for that wise. I might even be able to go up a little bit more. Okay. There we go. Alright. So good for dyno power. Like it's really consistent around that mark there. So I think if we got 2 ohms exactly, we'll probably definitely hit that mark. Yeah, every shot is 550, 600 watts. We're not clipping it all. Alright, so let's, I don't want to go up another one on the thing itself here. So I'm going to try to back this down a teeny bit. Back that down. So see, we're still tuning the amp here. So it's all about how you get your amp tuned. Alright, so let's try that again. Same song. I'm going to go up another volume. I turn the amp down. So let's see where we are here. Right up the clipping there, you can see the light going off every now and again. The bass off a little bit. Oh, we're getting even more power. I took some bass out and we're getting better, cleaner power now. Alright, so I mean that 2.6 ohms, we're getting 623 watts. So I'm going to say definitely, speaker's a little bit warm. I mean, but these things, they got to break in. And these are still fairly new. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to try 2 of these wired up together. And see what we can get with the 2 of them wired together. Because that should give me that 1 ohm load. Or just above. Alright guys, so we'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. Stay tuned. Alright guys, welcome back. Welcome back. Let me get this straightened out a little bit for you. There you go. Okay, so I actually have 2 of these wired in parallel right now. Okay, so let me get this straightened out here. What was the problem? There we go. Alright, so we can get you on. So that should be good. Now this should run perfectly fine. So technically now this is wired to a 1/2 ohm, and we should be running just over 1 ohm. Actually, you know what? Let's go back to that impedance. I'm gonna check that. I'm gonna see what it says. AC frequency and impedance. Okay, so we're going to start off slow. I'm going to bring it back down a little bit. And bring it back. And start off right away. Let's go get them. Right at 1 ohm, look at that. So it's right at 1 ohm. And as you can see our frequency there, 34, 36, 32. Alright, so let's give it a little bit more. Let's change up here. Real-time power. We're right at 1 ohm there, guys. 1.2, 1.3 ohms. See if I can make this better. It's that light above my head, man. I just can't get that glare out. Alright, so let's try another one here. Let's see how we're doing. So far the amp is cool and calm. No problems with the amp. Alright, so we got running cool and calm. 1.2, 1.3 ohms. There we got 660 there. So it seems like as I went up, the impedance rose a little bit. Back it up a little bit. I'm gonna go up 1 volume for a minute there. We'll see how she does. Okay, so I'm gonna go up 1 volume and bring the song back. Now right here is where we should really hit our number. and hopefully everything goes as it should, and nothing goes wrong. Let's go on dyno mode just so we can see what happens here. I'll reset it as it goes through. Now I don't know if I'd recommend doing this, but this is really the only way that you're going to get that 1 ohm load. You have to wire to a 1/2 ohm. There we go, we got 945. 1.3 ohms. 972. That's actually the number that is suggested on the box. It was 950, I believe, at 1 ohm. So we actually got our number there. Let's see. Oh, 900 at 1 ohm. So we actually got over our number there, almost 1,000 watts at 1 ohm. And I'm sure I can get more out of it. Let me turn it up a little teeny bit here. I'm doing a little bit of bass and a little bit. I don't want to turn up the volume anymore because I think the volume's already where it should be. Alright, so let's do this live. Come on. Back it up again, and so now we should really hit over 1,000 watts here. And I still don't think I should be doing any clipping. So let's see what we got here. Also gave the subs a rest for a second there. There we are. 1,000 watts. Almost 1,100. 1083. 1206. Okay, there we are. 1206. Let's see if you guys can see that nice and clear. 1206 at 1.2 ohms. And the amp's still running. I mean, it's a little warm, but I think if you had this on a piece of wood, maybe a fan on it, you wouldn't have any problem running it like this, and it would do just fine. And nobody's to say you have to run it that hot anyways. I mean, this is a $100 amplifier, so you really got to think about that. It's a $100 amplifier that you're running here. This is not a $500 amplifier, or even a $300 amplifier. You're looking at something you can buy at Walmart that's doing 1,200 watts at 1.2 ohms. And really, realistically, I think that's what I got on the original RZR1, was around that same power, around that same impedance. So I'm probably going to do a short on this, and I'm going to wrap up the video for now. Get this out to you guys. I appreciate you guys watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe to the channel. We'll see you back real soon, guys. As always, take care of yourselves and each other, guys. Peace. 2025. Say peace, Callan. Alright, guys, welcome back. Let me fix this here real quick. And there we go. So before I just even start testing, I'm just gonna, I got the camera going already. I put it on just for a second. On that other amplifier that I had, it would have shut off already, and it would have just shut off. I would have had to restart the whole system, and because anything under 2 ohms, it seemed to be limited on power, and this one is instantly putting out more power and not shutting off like the other one was. So it's already performing better than that other one that Walmart was selling there. It's obviously running just above 1 ohm. It's doing 400 watts there. Alright, let's see where we are for power here. Okay, so I got plenty of room. again. There we go. So the only other thing I can think of is I'm gonna try swapping that fuse around and see if that makes any difference. If not, no loss, because I already feel like I lost on the amps anyways, because they made a garbage amp at that time. All right, so let's try out my other video.
Okay.
Right now?
I'm not waiting until tomorrow. Today's
Well,
Easter.
I thought we were just all gonna do it together.
Oh.
I have to.
There we go.
I was waiting.
There we go, 800 watts. Very similar, very similar.
Who did that?
All right, so I'm gonna plug in that other amp just for he's and ha-has, so you guys can see what it does, and or what it doesn't do, and I don't know. So this right here is the original amp that they sold, the one that everybody bragged about, that they said, you know, it goes above 1 ohm, or goes can run at 1 ohm or below even, because technically I'm wired to a 1/2 ohm right here. And this right here is the one above.
Okay.
This one here is the newer amp. So I'll be back with that other amp. Don't go anywhere, guys.
Alan, come here. Want to take a picture?
Alrighty, guys, welcome back. Welcome back. So I've showed the different versions we have here, and I basically have the same exact settings on this last test on this last amp. This was the amp that Walmart sold in between the original RZR and the now 1 ohm rated RZR. The prior two were 2 ohm rated amplifiers. So I'm going to do basically the same tests. All the settings are the same. Nothing's really any different. I'm going to back off for a minute here on the volume just because I know what's going to happen. We'll start off with just some music. Well, pretty much the same test. Alright, so we'll do 34 Hertz here. And we'll start off here. And this is this song is actually Black Widow, 3447 Hertz. Iggy, I think it's Iggy Azalea. I'm not sure. Alright, so let's see what happens here. I got the dyno on so you guys will see what kind of power it's doing. I don't know if I can get a better... There we go. Alright, that's a little better. Alright, so we're at low power. It's working. You can see we're at 1.7, 1.8 ohms. Alright, so let's give it a little bit more. Alright, so we're still very low power. 20 watts. And at some point here, it's just gonna, the amp will just shut off. So we're about 40 watts here. Once I get to like 200-300 watts, that's where it's gonna shut off. Everyone's recording here, right? Let's see if I can do this a little bit. Alright, so I'm gonna go up one more. So we should double our power again. We should be doing about 80 watts here, roughly. notice about 160 to 200 watts. I hope it doesn't shut off yet. I'd like it to at least do something. We're still at the same power here. Now I think it's the next bump where it's going to shut off. So I'll bring it back down. It's around, let's see here. Let's see where it goes. I think it's 40 seconds. So it's going to go off. Here we go. 40 seconds, exactly. Okay, alright, so I'm going to bring it back to 40 seconds here. I'm going to pop it up one more volume. And let's see what happens here. It's gonna. I'm guessing it's probably going to shut off right now. This is when it's going to happen. It's going to shut off. Alright, there we go. Alright, so here we go. Oh, wow. Make me a liar. Okay, so now I feel stupid. Now, I guarantee you if I go up one more bump, that's where it's going to definitely 100% happen, which on the other amps, that would not happen. It would just say clipping or whatever. Alright, so we'll just do it right here. I went up one more volume. There it is. Yep. Back it down so it doesn't shut off. It just clips the amplifier for whatever it does. So you guys saw that live there. Alright, so I guess I proved my point there. That one more volume bump, I got it set up. I'm going to do a short. I'll bring you guys that, and then I'm going to get this video wrapped up. And I'll get the video out to you guys too. Alright guys, so don't forget, like, share, subscribe. I appreciate you guys watching. 2025 guys, let's get it this year. Peace.